Good morning, everybody. Welcome to week 4. We're doing something a little different. I should say we're adding something new to this week. We're not just talking about Word and working in Word. We're also going to be talking about browsers. So the discussion board this week is all about browsers and different kinds of browsers. You probably know a decent amount about browsers in that you know how to access them. You know that there are different ones. You know that they may offer basically kind of different views, or they may have different presentations when it comes to certain web pages. But what is a browser in and of itself? Usually we think of a browser as something like an open door or a window to the internet, as if the internet were some sort of magical world or something like that. So we need to first think about what the internet itself is. So the internet is all these interconnected networks. So for instance, when you're at home, or you're at the local library, or you're at Starbucks or something, usually what you do with your phone or your laptop is you log into the Wi-Fi. So this is their network, right? Their local area network, their LAN. You have one of these at home probably as well, with a modem and a router. And so the internet is really just the connected networks that are all over the world, right? Millions and millions and millions of them. And so in order to really kind of get any data out of them, anything really relevant or valuable, we need to be able to kind of translate that code into something that is meaningful, understandable, readable. That's what a browser, first and foremost, does. Now, that's not the only thing, but I think for right now, that's a good way of putting it, is a browser, more than anything, is going to translate what we have on internet web pages. Best way to look at this is go to any kind of web page. You can do this on Blackboard, or you can do this on CNN's web page or YouTube or something. Right click somewhere in the web page itself, and then go down to where it says View Page Source. When you do View Page Source, you're going to see that specific page unvarnished, basically the original code. This is markup language, XML, HTML. You may have heard of those acronyms before. And so what a browser does is it takes that and essentially translates that into a form that you understand. I mean, think about it with learning a foreign language or something like that. If you are really, really fluent in a foreign language, you don't really even think about translating it in your head. It kind of happens automatically, right? Well, the browser really kind of does that, so we don't even think about it. We don't think about code. We don't think about the markup language. We just see the finished product, which is perfect. And so each browser, and there's lots of different kinds of browsers. People have made their own browsers, in fact, will actually do that same kind of thing, but they offer different kinds of things as well. There's different securities, different protections, things like that. But it will also present certain web pages maybe a little differently. So you all probably know that as students here at Bryan Stratton, when you get onto Blackboard, the preferred, the highly recommended, the strongly encouraged browser is going to be Firefox. Does that mean that you can't log in with Chrome or Edge or Safari? No, not at all. In fact, frankly, I use Chrome all the time. I like Chrome a lot more, but it does actually present it a little differently. And so one of the things that we'd like you to talk about in the discussion boards is, what are those differences? Do you see any? And some of you may say, well, gosh, I don't really see any. Or I might see a couple here and there, but nothing too significant. So take a look, think about that, and then more broadly than that, maybe talk a little bit about, what do the different browsers offer? Like you say you use Chrome more than you use Firefox or something. Great. Why? Is it just preference? Is it habit? Or are there certain features that you really appreciate in Chrome that Firefox doesn't have, or vice versa? Or you're a Mac user and you use Safari and you think that's a much more secure browser or something like that. So think about that. That's going to be what we're talking about this week. We're also going to be doing a midterm. We have the midterm coming up. We are actually at the midpoint of this very short class, 7.5 weeks. And then there's also going to be another Word assignment that's straight out of your book. This is the Valley Custom Manufacturing assignment. So there have been some questions, some very good questions about these assignments. Some confusion, what should I do with this, or how do I... The best way Renee and I can tell you to kind of get started with these is just to adhere very closely to those instructions. Don't skip a step. Those instructions are set out in such a way that they're meant to kind of make it so that you have to kind of search for certain things. You have to kind of struggle to find certain features, perhaps. That's part of the learning process, honestly. But if you forget one thing or two things down the road, it could mess up other things as well. And so just keep that in mind. Now, you're only going to be working through step 12 of this assignment in the textbook, but just keep in mind, follow those instructions to a T. Now, we'd also recommend highly that you do the practice exercises as well. You don't need to hand those in. There are going to be some solution files in that folder as well. Just check your work with the solution file to see how well you've done. So we're going to be doing those kinds of things. We've got the discussion board. Please continue to reach out if you have any questions. I know a number of you have had some questions about basically downloading Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, the Office 2016 onto your computers. And I know that's been frustrating for some of you because it doesn't seem like it has worked. Chances are it probably has, but it may not have said explicitly 2016 or something like that. In fact, I've had this issue. I'm actually talking to you on a brand new laptop. One of the reasons why I wasn't able to put up a video last week was because my laptop went kaput, right, just like that. But when I got my new laptop a couple days ago, I actually had to do the same thing and download 2016, and it didn't basically show Word, Excel, and PowerPoint the same exact way as it did on my other laptop. But I know that they're there, and I know that it is the most updated version of Office. So if you have any questions about that, you can ask us, but rest assured that if you've gone through those steps, and you do have a laptop that can take this stuff, or a desktop or something, 2-3 years old or something, rest assured you most certainly do have it on there. Unless there's an error that comes up or something like that, it's highly likely that you actually do have it. But again, if you have questions, you know where to reach me. You know where to reach Renee. We're really here to help you out in any way we can. And just other than that, keep working hard, and we'll see you all in the discussion boards. Thanks.